All right, today we've hit a new low weight of 173.6, and now is back day. And something for our philosophical lesson of the day, yep, it's the boring stuff. I'm going to be talking about my focus on just one day at a time, because I've found that to get the best progress, you kind of have to focus on yourself. Now, that doesn't mean competition isn't a good thing. And what I mean is, I got guys I follow. You see Larry Wheels, for example, or Greg Doucette, Jeff Nippard, just dudes from the gym, your buddies that you work out with, and you see their physiques and you're like, damn, 250 pounds and lean? Holy shit, why can't I be that? Or, I post on different platforms, talk about the prep, and, sometimes you get comments where it's like, oh, what the fuck, you're competing? What are you doing? You're too small, you're too fat, you're too this, that, and the other, and you just gotta ignore it, You gotta ignore not only people, saying you're not ready. If you're gonna do it, just do it. Don't let other people discourage you, Now, that doesn't mean they have a point. Don't have a point. They could be, rude, or they could be trying to be funny, or they could genuinely just be pointing something out, You got to take everything as constructive criticism. Why are they saying it? I'm not that big. I'm 173 pounds. I'm decently big. I'm way bigger than I started, But I'm at the point where, I think, obviously, you want to compete against the best. Iron sharpens iron. You want to be the best. You want to compare yourself to others because, you're going to have to compete in a sport like this. And you got to say, all right, how do I beat this guy? What do I have to work on? What are my weaknesses? What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? How do I, show that I'm better? How do I get better? What do I do? You got to focus in. That's good. But when we dwell on the comments, we get in our heads. We get in our feelings a lot. You go on the attack and you say, well, you're stupid. Or, this is why. No. Man, it's not doing anybody any good, So what? I'm too small? Yeah, probably so. But you know what? I'm going to compete. I'm going to go and compete, and I'm going to do my best. And if I get last place, I get last place. But you know what, buddy? I competed. And you're right, I'm probably too small. I'm going to spend the next year getting big, I'm going to work on building strength, building muscle, and, trying to show you, hey, I can do it. You can't get discouraged. You just got to keep moving forward, So I think you just have to take a step back, and you gotta look at where you came from. You gotta look at where you're at and be proud of yourself, one, and two, just focus on getting a little bit better every single day. You can compare yourself to others and you can try and improve yourself, but you can't lose yourself in it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my pre-workout, and I will see you guys after back day. All right, good day in the gym today because I hit a PR on Smith machine rows. How about that? And the only reason I was on the Smith machine is because barbell was taken. Sometimes you gotta adapt. It doesn't matter, but that was my last set that you saw. That was the last one that I recorded. And the first set I got 12 for 135. So I'm very pleasantly surprised. It must have been the chicken sandwich I had beforehand, and I guess it just maybe I need to make that before every single workout. But I was really happy with everything, and I got a great pump, and I worked on my posing a little bit, and when I was doing my last sets of face pulls, I was looking in the mirror a little bit, and I was like, damn. Because I tense my stomach when I do any of my sets. That's not just how I do it. I tense my core, and I've always been used to here's my chest, here's my gut. It's a little bit higher. It was chest and sunken in, and it's like I'm accidentally practicing a vacuum, and I'm just like looking at it, and I'm proud of myself. I don't care. I don't care what place I get. I do care, but ultimately this one's just for me. This one's like, I did it, and look at how far I come. I started this at 215 pounds. I was a fat son of a bitch, and now I'm 173. It's night and day difference, I like will be laying down or sitting down. I'm like, damn, what's that? It's my hip bone. I've never felt my hip bone before. I've always been a big kid. There's a picture of me that I always think of where I'm with my dad playing soccer, and he's, I'm standing with my hands on my hips, and I got this fucking fat gut. Oh my God, I was chunky. Dad looks completely different. And I think back to that, I'm like, damn, I've come a long way. And that, the beauty of competition is you can compete with others and make yourself better, but you can't get lost in it because it's these moments right here where I'm thinking back and I'm like, wow, I'm proud of myself. Look at where I'm at now, look at those first photos. I'm so much different, And if I had just obsessed over every bad comment, over every time I wasn't stronger than somebody, over every time I lost, I wouldn't enjoy these little moments where I'm like, you know what? Look at where I'm at now. It's like taking a look back in your life and seeing, damn, I make a decent salary now. I got my degree, this, that, and the other. You gotta take a step back and just look at yourself from an objective point of view and just say, you know what? I'm doing good. And I'm proud of myself. So, that's my inspirational talk of the day. But you know what? This guy's got some account balancing to do. So I will see you guys tomorrow for legs. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Get your protein in. Do your cardio. And I will see you for tomorrow's workout.